Why do you scream at me? Why do you think that it's free? It's not a choice made by me. Once we fall, soon you'll see. When I looked into your eyes, I can see we need to change our lives. Let me in, then we both win. But not knowing that you're killing me. This silence, it's building, tearing me fearfully. This silence, it's building, tearing me. I'm screaming.
And welcome to the Sunday Night hanging right here on Sundays on my YouTube channel. If you're new, please subscribe, and if you're returning, welcome back. Speaking of welcoming backming, sure, that's words. My good friend RJ Ronquillo, he seems to be the Tone Gilio down in the Nashville area. I'm just saying.
Did you say Tone Kilio?
Yes.
Wow, that might be the new nickname.
I like Tone Gilio. Oh. Yes, Tone
that
Gilio.
Means I would kill the tone though. That's a bad thing.
As long as it's spelled with a Q, it's okay.
Tone Kilio. We'll come up with something, but I like where you're going. I like spitballing here.
Yeah. At least maybe a pedal. Maybe a pedal. We could. I don't know.
We could do a
circuitry, like a treble bleed.
A noise suppressor called Humkilio.
I like it. Let's see. Wow, we got a bunch of people in the chat. Let's see. We've got Travis Burris, John Duchesne, Terry's 3Gs, Eric Warrington, Ferd Burfel, Guitar Man 45, All Dave All Night, Lawrence Cash out of Alaska, Dave Chase, Tim Thomas, Small Mouth Guy, Josh Tamberg. We got Lee Elbarge there, Graphite and Cigars, James Hawking, Joe Hervey 84, Michael B. Live, Braxel, Jason Lindholm, The Lawnmower Tapes, which I still say is a great name for at least an EP, The Lawnmower Tapes.
That's a good name.
I have to do it. It's going to be lo-fi, shoegaze. It's going to be awesome. Dennis Ellis knows exactly what we're talking about. Christopher Neiman. Got it. T. Ricky. Great to see you.
Are these the usual suspects?
These are a lot of the usual suspects, yes. And a lot of them, you may notice in the folks in the chat, a lot of them have toques next to their name because they're a channel member because they're extra cool. Which we had a cool hang yesterday. Nice. Yeah, we did our bi-weekly Zoom call for channel members and patrons, and that was fun. I did a gear swap live during the Zoom hang.
What did you swap?
I got rid of a Gretsch Jet and a couple of pedals, and I got myself a Marshall DSL 28 jar head with a 1922 212 cab.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Making deals.
Yep. And I got the Gretsch originally from the guy, and I told him, if you ever want it back, which he did. And he's like, I need that in my life. I said, okay. I like that amp. You're not using it too much. So it worked out all the way around. And I just, as a YouTuber, RJ, you just keep throwing in pedals into the deal until they're like, yep, all right.
Yeah, pedals are like gold.
Yep. And cash is king. Dylan Washburn's in the house. Dylan, I will get in touch with you tomorrow regarding, I need to find a telly bridge that's both a top loader and bottom load. I need the part number for that. So I can install my hip shot B-Bender telly. Setup, yes. Non-invasive. Rob Baker is here. Randy Corrects. More usual suspects. Love it. If you have any questions for either of us, use the @ sign, question marks, stand out with the super chat, as RJ says. I like that.
Yeah, that's right. I can see it on my iPad. In fact, I'll type something. There we go.
There we are. The Great Vanzini. He asked, does RJ still do guild demos? He's the best.
The last one I did, I think, was last year. It was for this guitar, which I kept, but I haven't used or tuned it up. This is the SF1 DC. So this is kind of their budget model version of their DC. I took the pick guard off, so it's more like buddy guy, old school buddy guy looking. But it's well made for what, I think it's made in China. I'm sorry, Indonesia.
Nice.
So.
Sup, Sky Prop? Good to see you. T. Ricky says pedals, currency after the apocalypse. Exactly. Ooh, here's a question. BC Rich 581 for RJ or for the chat. I like that. Any experience with the new Carlos Lopez guitars? Are they good enough to make sense at that price?
Well, I did demo. If we're talking about the Castadosa brand, that's Carlos Lopez, right?
I do believe so.
I demoed the baritone that had the fuzz pedal built inside, and it was like the best baritone that I've ever played, and I've played a lot of them. And it is an expensive guitar. I think it's like seven grand US, and I'm still on the fence whether or not I want to pay that much for just a baritone guitar, just because it's a specialty instrument. It's not a guitar that I would necessarily play all the time, but it was really a work of art and very unique, and the fuzz sounded great inside. So it was, I could probably write a whole album just on that guitar alone. So it's a lot of money, but so are Murphy Lab Les Pauls.
Right. That's true. That's true. Let's see here. I did see another question. I didn't want to miss it.
Christopher Neiman.
I got that one. Where was before? Oh, maybe not. Yes, don't let Charles see your couch cushions. He'll use that to put a fabric wrap on any guitar.
Hey.
Nothing wrong with that. Which I don't think I've seen Charles in here yet. So he's likely lurking. That's fine. Question for RJ. He did demos of both the Sabatius 1966 and Rainbow Fuzz pedals. Wondering which one he prefers.
I think I requested to keep the 1966. I can't remember if I had to send the Rainbow one back. Or I know I handed it off to Brett Papa so he could do a demo, and I wanted the 1966 for sure. So that's the one I like.
Nice. Yes. Jeff K says, RJ loved the live stream with Corey the other weekend. Would love to see more of the club live streams.
Yeah, I think, the Underdog is the place. And I know Brett Papa was talking about doing live streams, like, full pro setups with a camera crew and lighting and everything there. So we're talking about it and figuring out if we could make it like a weekly thing.
Hey, I like the low budget way that worked out. Because at first I was like, it's right next to the drums. This isn't going to work. And as soon as the drummer play, oh, this is going to work perfect.
That's the built-in iPad microphone for you.
Yeah. It makes sense actually too, because an iPad has a lower input than an iPhone.
Yeah.
Because anyone that's tried to record a video with an iPad knows. It's a blanket on.
Do they still do that? Do they still bring full iPads to concerts and you see like the lady like filming it on the iPad?
I think it depends on the artist.
Oh, okay.
Like I bet you Rod Stewart, for instance, half the crowd iPads.
Oh.
Slayer.
Well, if you get a big purse.
The Down and Back Cornhole podcast, Cousin Doug. What's going on? Finally made it back from the Dominican. Great to see. Do you still have any Acacia guitars?
I don't. I haven't played one of those in a long time. Can't remember the last one I demoed. I think it was a blue one. They're great guitars, though. Well built.
So we can definitely talk. Yes, Jason Lindholm, and I think he had asked it earlier. The new Novo guitar, how's it working out? Is it pretty?
I probably use that guitar more than anything now, so it's kind of become my number one. Because it's a Strat, but it looks different and it's noiseless, and it stays in tune great. The tremolo feels good and feels a little bit different than a vintage trem, which I like. It's a little more mod. Everything is a little bit, leveled up. It's like a Strat leveled up, and that's what I've been looking for.
Sure.
Might get another one. Let's get another one.
Yeah. What's up, Robert Ranford? Michael B. live with the super chat. Thank you, Michael. This has been crazy how some instruments don't leave the group of owners who love to trade but can't completely let go of an instrument altogether. Yeah, exactly. There's pieces of gear. There's a certain Proco rat pedal that I've owned 3 times, and now Richie actually owns it for the 3rd time. It literally has gone back and forth between us because, I need a rat in my life. And then I don't really need a rat in my life. And then he needs a rat in his life, and cyclical. So we just keep going back and forth.
That's right.
And thanks again, Michael B., for the super chat. Billy Baloney asks, when will the new course be coming out?
Billy, I think Brett Papa's going to know more, but I think we're talking about sometime in April. So not too far off. I mean, it's next month. All going well. I mean, there's a lot of work in editing and all that stuff, but there's a team behind it, so it should be faster than if I was to edit it all myself. That's for sure.
Right. That makes offering a course like that a lot easier, I'm thinking. Just somebody else is like, I'll edit it. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I get that. Let's see. Guitar Man 45 says, tell RJ he demoed a Guild 175 Manhattan a couple years ago, and I went and bought one. Never regretted the buy. Nice.
Great to hear it, man. Yeah, those are fun guitars.
Mm-hmm. Rob Baker asks if either of us have tried the Tonex pedal yet. I have not.
I haven't. I've seen it, and I was supposed to do a demo of the app. I couldn't get it working, so they sent me some other equipment to try to get it working, and I still haven't. I haven't tried the new thing yet. So
right. What's up, Brendan B. Squared, maker of fine Brendan B. Squared cigar box guitars.
Nice.
Because I think everyone should have one of those. Where was that? David Belcher was asking, which Fralins did you put in the Nova?
I put the split blade, Strat
Right.
style, split blades. And I actually went to Fralins shop and tested a couple of there's like 3 different versions. There's like, basically low, medium, and high output. And which ones did I get? I can't remember. Medium, probably. I forget if it's like called vintage and then vintage hot and blues.
Gotcha. And Dylan's asking question for RJ. Quick breakdown of his current recording rig. Always curious what guys like him prefer to use.
Well, when I'm recording now, whether it's for video or even session work, I go through my amps, and that goes into 2 notes Captor X speaker sim. And I pretty much stick with the same preset, which is I downloaded some of the Celestion IRs and kind of put 2 together that I liked. So I use that for the most part, and then that goes into a UAD Apollo X8. Is it X8? I forget the name of it. Yeah, Apollo 8 X8, and then I use Logic Pro X. A lot of X's in recording.
Yep. Jason Lindholm says, to Ben and RJ, you guys are part of the reason I'm wanting to do YouTube videos. Rhett Scholl, too. Do it. That's what I say. Yes.
If you got a smartphone, then you're already there.
Yep. That's all I use.
Are you on your smartphone right now, Ben?
No. This I'm using my laptop on, but for all my videos, I just record them on my iPhone.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I went with all kinds of external miking on that, and it just sounded worse and worse. And it got back to, I realized the internal mic just works great for, play an amp at slightly above bedroom volume, and it captures it great. It sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until I get a 2-note setup, which this thing, it's because this is the first time I've had a modern head in ages. So it's actually got a note put deal. I've noticed. Aha!
What model amp is that?
The DSL HR, DSL 20 HR.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Does that have an XLR out, or is it just a line out?
Oh, what is it? I have to look. Emulated out.
Okay.
That sounds digital to me. I don't know.
You could plug it in and just, might not be bad.
Yeah.
EQ it a little bit.
What's up, Braxel? Daryl B says, I bought the Lukather EMG loaded pickguard after watching a video. Love it. Thanks.
Those are great pickups, yeah.
Cushman's lurking. Dylan says, great answer. Exactly what I was looking to find out. Yes, because he's looking to get into doing some more videos for the Flipside Music channel.
Yeah. It's so much more convenient nowadays to record guitar, especially with stuff like 2-notes or the UAD stuff.
Ooh, what's currently your number one? I'll say.
Number one guitar?
I assume.
It's got to be the Novo Idris, the pink one. Let me grab it.
Mm-hmm. I am loving it so far, Guitar Man 45. What's up, Keith Campbell? There it is.
Just comfortable. Like, the neck is super comfortable. The vibe is cool.
My dad was very intrigued about that guitar. He's like, what was that? What was RJ playing? Having watched the hangout together. And as he said, literally, I went upstairs after you guys wrapped up. I was, what'd you think? He's like, not bad for a bunch of kids. And then he smirked.
Now, I know this is supposed to be shell pink, but I do wish it was a little pinker. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll get it repainted at some point.
Jason Lindholm's asking what the sticker is.
Oh, I got some vintage Town and Country TNC Surf Designs stickers from the 80s.
Nice.
And I actually had 2 of them on here, and then I thought that would be too much, so I took one off.
Nice. Well, speaking of 80s, because they're sitting here, because I wanted to show you. I don't know if you caught my video for Friday, RJ, but have you ever heard of Rockstar concert cards?
You know what? My wife got me, I don't know if they're Rockstar concert cards. Show them to me, because mine are upstairs, but I wonder if mine are the same.
There's Hall & Oates.
Oh, no, I got one that was all like 80s metal bands.
Well, if you want metal, then there's your Robin Crosby.
Yeah. Nice.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me get mine then. I don't know. What are those called? Rockstar
concert cards. They came out in 1985.
Okay, let me get mine.
There you go, folks. Will that focus? Yeah, it might. See, you gotta focus in on Charlie. See, here we go. What's up, Doug Strong? Dean Hostetter?
Okay, mine are just called rock cards.
Ooh.
I think they're called 91.
Oh. I've heard about these. I heard somebody had referenced those on my video.
Yeah, these are just who is this? You know, I've never heard of this guy before. Tangier?
Oh, that yes, Tangier does ring a bell, but literally because only you would see their name on a bill, and they're always at the bottom, smallest size
Right.
font, of course.
That's the drummer. But yeah, these are all like metal. Like it's almost like anyone you would see in like Rip magazine or Circus or something.
Yeah, that was
Here's
this
an
that
obscure
rock, metal, and then pop as well, because you have like the Scorpions, but you also have
Yeah.
the Thompson twins. Okay,
Oh, cool.
sure.
Like I don't know who this guy is. Warrior Soul was the name
Never
of the
heard
band.
of them. No.
Never heard of them. Anyone heard
No.
of Warrior Soul? But yeah, I mean they got like Joey Allen from Warrant.
Nice.
So I don't know, I thought it was interesting.
Nice. Bo Guitar Man 45 says I have to start finding and buying stuff like that for my new studio. Yes. Hey, Bozique. Well, I can gladly donate some of this stuff to you for that studio, Guitar Man 45. I still got a whole. See, I wanted the whole set, RJ, so I just bought a whole box back in the day.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Did they come with bubble gum?
no, and they were blister packs, and for some reason I kept all the cardboard blister packs on the other side. I noticed, and then they did have some quality '80s stickers as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Warning, Metal Maniac. You're like, okay, easy, easy. Hello, Alan's Guitar Channel. He says Warrior Soul sounds familiar. Really?
I guess I'll have to check him out. Edwin
Yes.
Crane Warrior Soul was underrated. All right.
Well, interested. We're a friend of mine is Symmetry in here in the chat. He and I were talking the other night about concerts back in the day, and I was supposed to see the Metal Queen Lee Aaron in concert. I was one of the few concerts in this area.
I'm not familiar.
Oh yeah, she had a song in the mid '80s called Metal Queen. Go figure. And then she was making a comeback in the late '80s, which was kind of a very Sunset Strip version of Shania Twain is the best way I could put it together, because it was very produced, well put together. You were like, whoa, she has some money behind her. Okay, this is cool. And she was coming through town on a Canadian tour, and there was this band that opened for her. Never heard of them. Supposed to be some glam rock band called Winter Rose, which I was like, oh, that's such a bad name. And I could not believe it in conversation the other night. I remember the name. So then we look it up. Well, it turns out the singer of Winter Rose went on to become the singer of Dream Theater. I'm like, what?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Randy Cook was in the band as well. I'm like, go figure. Because Randy Cook's played with everybody. Wow. So as a Canadian.
Yeah, that's it's funny how some
LeBray,
of
LeBray,
they all
yes.
start. There's an 80s cruise happening right now, or this past weekend, that my friends that are in LA Guns are on, and I thought they were on some kind of like, metal cruise or like hard rock cruise, but then I started seeing like Howard Jones or something, and Downtown Julie Brown from MTV, and Tone
Nice.
Loc is on the cruise. So I'm like, wow, that would actually be fun. Like, I
That
don't
would
know
be
if I would do like one specific genre cruise, but like an 80s cruise where you had like,
Yep.
you know, pop stars and rock
Well,
stars
you
and
think the
stuff.
80s cruise has to be more fun than the 90s cruise. The 90s cruise is going to be much more depressing. You know, it'll
I would
probably
do
be
the 90s
overcast
cruise.
every day on the cruise.
I would definitely do the 90s cruise too.
What's up, Simon Hosford? Slade at the Melbourne Guitar Festival this weekend. Who plays an Yngwie Malmsteen album front to back, note for note? That guy. That guy. That's all I'm saying. What's up, Poo Ninja? Legend.
Who Ninja's here?
Yeah.
Funky Cruise Medina. Yeah, right.
I'd be down with that. So what were you doing today? I was hanging out in the lounge with Tone Loc. That is awesome.
I haven't gone on a cruise in a long time, and I'm sure there's people that haven't gone on any cruises, but I've never been on a music cruise, and it's gotten so popular in the past 5-10 years now. So common.
It's like it's another option, like the casino circuit in many ways for a lot of bands.
Oh yeah, it's like a Vegas residency almost.
Nice. Boner Jams with the super chat. He says, RJ, my man, who has shared the stage with my metal god, Corey Taylor. Great to see you on. Have a great show, boys.
Yeah.
Thanks
good
so
to
much,
see you,
Boner
man.
Jams. One of the chief cohorts over at the End of the Bus Network on Wednesday nights. That's not a paid product placement at all. Love you, man. Looking forward to the merch.
I'm moderating here, by the way.
Yeah. Well, turnabout's fair play, except you don't have me on screen while I moderate. You know.
Yeah.
Randy Crooks would want to go on a Prague cruise.
I think they have one, don't they? I feel like there's a cruise for everything now. I'm pretty sure because a friend of mine, Fernando Perdomo, who lives in LA, who's big into the Prague circuit, I think did a Prague cruise. I'm pretty sure.
I did see a question earlier regarding what guitar you used on the latest Transatlantic Radio single.
I know I used mostly my Tyler. I think for the last song I used just the Tyler. The first single I used the Tyler and the Dan Landether, the EMG, this one for the solo. But yeah, the Tyler all the way. That's what it's made for.
Exactly. That makes sense. So you can play guitar in this. I have the exact guitar for this. Yes, I have the guitar.
That's what I bought.
Which I think I'll be discussing some Tylers tomorrow night with Michael Nielsen on here, because I know he has the same infatuation that I do and you do. And I didn't realize how much I needed one in my life until you explained it to me. And I went, yep. Need one of those.
I mean, yeah, it's a hard sell because it's a very pricey instrument like a Murphy Lab or a Castadosa. So,
but it's a
for me,
Ferrari.
it was worth the investment to me just because it's something that I've drooled over for decades. So about time.
You did make it hit Metalworks. Great to see you, my friend. So what's a piece of gear that's come across your table in the last couple of months that's really knocked your socks off? Because I know it takes something, like where you're, oh, okay.
I want to say there's been a lot. I can't remember which ones other than the guitar. What have I released in the past 2 weeks? Today I just demoed the Greer Super Hornet. I think that's been out for a while, but that's like a fuzz octave, but it's got the option to do momentary octave, which is pretty cool. which is, and I haven't come across anything that did that. So you can come up with rhythmic things with your feet, and I hope it's out. It's out, right? I think I've seen it before.
If not, you should check it out when it comes out, folks.
If not, I'm in trouble if I.
No, that we were just referring to beta testing. That's all we were talking about there was beta testing.
Oh no, it's been out for a while. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah, then pick one up, folks. Hey, Holly
Super
Lewis.
Hornet.
Corey's Garden was asking, what's your favorite amp excluding Fender?
God, I got a lot. Well, Corey, I use someone asked me this yesterday in my stream, but my Amplified Nation steel string Stinger 50 watt is kind of my go-to amp the past couple of weeks. But that one is a big standout. The divided by 13, excuse me, divided by 13 what's it called? BTR that I bought from Brett Papa is a standout.
That's the same one that Tim Pierce was raving about the other day.
I don't know. I know he's got like an RSA. The thing with divided by 13 that I don't like is you can't really tell what the model is unless you look really, really close, because visually they all kind of look the same. And it's not, which is nice, there's not big logos or big brand model names on it, but sometimes I can't tell what this amp does or what that amp does. And Brett Papa has like all of them.
Nice. Yes. We all say hello to my niece, Hert's mom and dad. Sup? Speaking of parents, I haven't seen our Tennessee friend Ryan Hall in the chat this evening. He jumped in on the Zoom hang yesterday, RJ, and we got to meet his mom. He drove down to Alabama to visit Mama, and we were along for the ride, which was awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then we watched him do chores for Mama, which was quite entertaining.
Nice.
Billy Baloney says I had a divided by 13 CJ11. Never should have sold it.
I have no idea what a CJ11.
I don't either, but I've never heard of someone having a bad divided by 13 amp. So
yeah. They're all going to be good, but I don't know what tubes are in the CJ11, and if it's 2 channels or 1 channel or.
Good to see you, Lee. Lee Minute, Elbarge. Good to see you. Do you have a favorite scale length for a baritone guitar?
Oh, I don't know what the numbers are, but whatever that Castadosa baritone is, maybe I'll look it up. Castadosa baritone.
Yeah, because Robert says PRS just released the 277 as a lefty, so I ordered one. Nice. And hello to Kurt5150, another co-host of the Under the Bus Network. Those guys crack me up every week.
27-inch scaling.
There. So, of course, PRS has to be different.
Yeah. What is that, 27.7 inches?
I assume, yeah, a 277, I would assume. It's Ryan Hall's birthday today. So if Ryan Hall's watching on replay, happy birthday to Ryan Hall. Thanks for the info.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
Nice. Philip Aspey's here. Good to see you. Bozique says, RJ, I was rewatching a Brett Papa video where you were using the Phrygian. Yep, that's it. Dominant
Phrygian
and blue
dominant.
solo. Yeah, okay. I assume that's one of those 7-note scales or something. That's my next thing in life, RJ, is I finally went from the pentatonic to the 7-note version of the pentatonic, I'll call it. And so now I got to figure out these things, because I know you guys, I watch and I'm like, I don't know what that scale is, but it sounds good.
I don't know the name of it, but I think I know what you're talking about. Phrygian dominant. Yeah. That makes sense. I was thinking, like, is that what it's called? Yeah, I guess that is a Phrygian dominant.
Sure.
I think it comes from a melodic minor mode or something.
Okay.
I can't remember.
I don't know. Like I'm just now
I
figuring
forget
because
my,
I've
I forget
noticed.
my theory.
I've noticed, it's one thing, you rock a pentatonic scale, RJ, and people are like, wow, you're pretty good. But as soon as you do a half step movement in a solo, now you just sound like a pro. I've noticed
Yeah.
as soon as you can do at some point a half step instead of nothing but full steps, then you just sound like a pro.
Yeah.
Graphite says, I'll
jazz
email
or-
you a few diagrams. Perfect. Yes, nice big pictures. That's how I get through life. There's Music Therapy Laz out for a walk. Nice. Had to say hey. Hey. Got to play more submissive sevenths. I don't even. I'll have to figure that out too, Basil. Bozique says fifth mode of harmonic minor, but RJ plays it much better than me, despite not knowing the name.
That's right. Fifth mode of harmonic minor. I said melodic minor. I meant harmonic minor. Is it the fifth mode? I thought it was like the seventh mode. Maybe not. I don't even know.
Philip says it's the passing notes. That's how I try to figure it out. Right. Or pick a damn note and stick to it. Sure, that works.
Yeah, where's Ben Tom? He should. He knows more about modes than I do. Probably.
Yes.
He remembers the school
Tom
stuff.
may be lurking. Yes, usually when we call him out, he will appear. Tom, are you lurking? Dean says, just play what sounds good. Yep.
That's what I do.
Exactly. Yeah, Terry says, when Tom explains the stuff you've learned to me and Ben, we kind of sit there like a caveman scratching our heads. Yeah.
That kind of happens.
Yeah, and I'll say, Tom, yep, you have me, and you lost me. Yes, Bozique says, check out your collab with Brett Papa. I agree.
Yeah, we let's see. I remember the first time we did a video together was when Brett was still living in California.
See a bunch of people saying, hey, show, we got 104 people watching. Very nice. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Helps algorithms. Stuff like that. Stack your tritones.
Yeah. I do that all the time. I think.
Going back to, we just try to do what sounds good. Holly says, you live in Nashville. I just moved, was there for 30 years. Do you know Adam Tico?
That sounds familiar. Let me see. The Tico that I know? Yeah, I met Tico probably 2015. He plays with a singer, or he used to play. I don't know if he's still playing with her, but Lauren Elena. And we met on a bunch of acoustic show gigs. Great guitarist.
There's Zach Thong. Good to see you. And Hippie J. That's a new name in the chat. Welcome. Just discovered the wonders of a compressor pedal after all these years. I'm still trying to dial in a compressor.
The Spaceman Ixiom is a good compressor. That's one I demoed recently that and it's a compressor, and I never get jazzed about compressors, and that was one that was like, oh, this is pretty good, because I could dial it in exactly the way I wanted it, and it sounded good. So that's a keeper.
Is that Boomster? It says pentatonics are made of 1, 3, 4, 5, 7 notes of the scale. I believe you.
Technically, a pentatonic is any 5-note scale, I guess. But yeah, for the most part, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7.
Is Printer's Alley still a thing downtown? Do you know?
Yes. Well, I mean, it's hard for me to say because I don't hang out downtown, and I haven't really hung out downtown since 2019. But when I did, we went to Printer's Alley, and yeah, there's with the karaoke bar and a tiny live venue. There's a couple karaoke bars in Printer's Alley, and there is a blues bar still there, but I haven't been in a while, so there's probably more stuff there.
Jeremy says it
Skull's
got gutted a
Rainbow
few
Room.
years ago to make room for new condos. Yeah, it's quite possible. I noticed that like 2019 when I was there, I was like, wow, there's already a large corporate entity on Broadway. Like it was pretty obvious. I was like, when some of the biggest over the top venues are artists that I'm like, I think I've heard of them because I only have a passing knowledge of modern country. Whereas I do regret not going into Ernest Tubbs though while I was there.
Yeah.
That I do regret.
The last time I was there, it's starting to look more like Times Square because they've got like these huge billboards, not billboard signs, but lighted signs that kind of illuminate the entire road. If you're not looking at it, you can just see flashes on the road and stuff, and it's just like, oh, it kind of feels like Times Square now.
Mm-hmm. There's Charles 75N and LPD Pedals himself, Mr. Lawrence, who was on last week. Great to see you, my friend.
Lawrence? There he is.
Yes, I did know that, Boomer. That's the only thing I know about pianos is the black keys is the pentatonic scale. That's the only thing I know. And it repeats the notes over and over, obviously. But that's it. That's all I know about piano/keys. AQ Music's here. And Paul Leonard Ewing of Stompbox Steels.
There you are.
See, now people are throwing all kinds of theory at me.
Yeah. It's hard to digest theory. 6 suspended fourth for diminished chord when climbing up scale. I got to think about that. It's too much to think about.
Yeah, that's how you see. If you think about that stuff while playing on stage, you'll always have the most amazing guitar faces, right? Is that Fruitcake Tony? And Willard Dunham. Good to see you. Just mentioning the band Prism. I love it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a great band. Keith H with a super sticker. Thank you.
I started following, Jordan Rudess, keyboard player and sometimes guitar player.
That name rings a bell, yes.
He was in Dream Theater. Amazing keyboard player. But he was playing something on Instagram. I saw videos of it. And it's like an iPad app that it didn't really look like a keyboard, but there were just all these weird buttons on it, and he could bend on the keyboard. I guess it had like some sort of a touch sensitive thing going and vibrato, and it looked really cool. I want to ask him about it, but that might be a fun instrument to pick up.
Yeah.
I'll see what the name of it is.
The joy of classical training. Yeah, I can tell, Boomster. Wizard Instruments, perhaps?
Is it? It's called the GeoShred? GeoShred, that's what it's called. I know nothing about it. But here, okay. It looks like that.
Oh, wow.
So, I don't know how it works, but it sounded cool.
Yeah, Michael B says, yeah, GeoShred's by them.
Oh, is that the company?
Yes, I guess.
I see. That makes sense.
Yes, Jordan's still in Dream Theater. Touch Whiz, I think he calls it. Okay. Well, you made it, Scott Brockway. Lawrence asks, has Corey mentioned anything about his new 87?
Yes, he loves it.
Nice.
The Marshall amp in a box he was looking for.
And Great Vanzini's asking, per the shirt, is RJ into Lawler pickups?
I am. Gosh, I've got a lot of them. Now that I think about it, I've got Lawlers in my Senstrat. I've got Lawlers in my Firebird. I've got Lawlers in my 54 Les Paul Gold Top. What else? I think that's it that I can recall. Oh, an Epiphone Les Paul has Lawlers that I demoed. Forget the name of them.
Nice. All right. Terry, 3Gs, moderator to the Stars and me, asks, since Tim Pierce was asked this, has RJ ever turned down or walked out on a gig / session without naming an artist? Because I wouldn't make any.
Yeah, I have. I probably told this on a live stream before. Let's see. I've walked out on a rehearsal for a gig. When I was living in LA, I got called to do this gig and it's funny because these two stories that I'm going to tell you all have to deal with kind of like stuff that was too jazzy that I just didn't like it. So the first gig or the first rehearsal in LA, it was some kind of instrumental jazz fusion thing, and none of the songs made any sense, and it didn't I just didn't like the music. And I actually made it through the rehearsal, and then I think later that night or the following day, I just said I couldn't do the gig. And I didn't make up an excuse. I just told them flat out that I really, it's not for me. I'm not really into the music, so you're better off getting somebody else. And then, of course, they got offended and blah, blah, blah. But who cares?
Right.
And then and I think before that, I was in a session for some other thing that was like a jazz fusion project, and instead of writing out a chart for me, they asked me to just like figure out the chords, and I had to sit at a piano to figure out these jazz chords because I couldn't really translate what I was hearing on the demo to guitar. And I got about like 4 bars in, and it took me like an hour to figure out these chords. I'm like, you know what? This is just a waste of time. Keep your money. I'm out of here. It was awful music too. In both situations, the music was just so shitty.
I get it.
You gotta know when to say no.
Right. Has Nashville gotten too bloated for a session players or for songwriters?
Well, it's hard for me to say because I'm technically not either. So I don't know what the current state is of musicians, but it's always been a haven for musicians, whether you're a songwriter, an artist, a session musician, someone that wants to tour. But it seems there's sort of enough to go around. That being said, I haven't met a lot of musicians that are struggling or trying to get gigs, so it's not kind of in front of me. But I'm sure there are people that move here with dreams of doing whatever music gig, and you got to fight for it or compete with a lot of other people. So yes, I would say, yeah, it's bloated, but it's always been kind of bloated.
Right. I was going to say, yeah, for whatever the size of Nashville has always been, it always seems that way. Like, is there too many? No, I think there's room for everybody. And as it's consolidating, more genres of music is coming out of Nashville now, where it seems like LA, New York, and Nashville are now all just going to be Nashville as a music hub. Fine.
Yeah, I think definitely Nashville has come up in the ranks as far as like a music-centric city.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's definitely on par with LA for sure.
Oh, yeah. This is interesting. And Terry, thanks for the response as well. Nice. Sup, Rock Daddy?
Got Rock Daddy, you got Pimp Daddy.
All the daddies.
Yeah.
BC Rich had asked, RJ, any more cartoon soundtrack sessions? Didn't you do an HBO Kids Cars cartoon a few months back?
Yeah. So that show is called Bat Wheels, and that's been out. And there's a whole soundtrack on Spotify that you can listen to. And I did pretty much most of the guitars on that. But I haven't worked on some demo stuff, but I don't know what it was exactly for. If it was for another series, but I think it was just demoing out stuff. So nothing really big since the whole Bat Wheels thing.
What's up, Mark Taft? Good to see you, my friend. Ooh, how does Nashville compare to, say, Austin in terms of songwriting?
Well, I would say Nashville is the songwriting capital of the world, not just the United States. I think even, it's not just country music songwriting that happens here. Every R&B, pop, metal, of course, rock, it's all, a lot of people record here as well because there's a ton of studios here. So I don't know much about Austin songwriting scene, but I would say Nashville is the tops for songwriting for sure.
I'd agree. John DeShane asks what your thoughts on the Unobtainium is.
It's a great pedal. It's definitely, I wish the graphics looked kind of cooler, but sonic wise and it's very practical to have those tones in one box.
It's a nice pedal.
I'm not doing an extra sketch. I need the knives. That'd be funny.
The virtual dials. Yeah, exactly, John. Nashville is a good place to be humbled. Okay, I see Graphite and Cigars is pointing out your cushions to Charles. Yep. I figured it. We called that before Charles even showed up. So
I don't know where I got these. I think I got these at Home Goods or Target or one of those places.
Has anyone tried the Donner Arena? I have not.
I have not.
So which amp were you using at the live gig a couple weeks ago?
Which amp I was using? I was using the Fender Vibrolux, custom Vibrolux reverb reissue.
Right.
Which I believe is 35 watts. And it's normally a loud enough amp for most gigs that I've played on, but Corey brought his 100 watts. So.
Yeah, because you need 100 watt in a venue that size.
Well,
I couldn't see the rest of the room, but I could just hear by the amount of, background noise prior to playing. I had a good sense of the size of the room that it was. And
yeah, it's a small room.
Yeah. I was like, that's a lot. Jay Jennings is asking us if either of us are going to NAMM next month. I am not.
I am not.
Maybe next year when it comes back in January. That's a really good reason to visit California. January. It's just that right there.
Yeah.
Oh, John asks, what's your experience with Suhr guitars looking into a top shelf Strat or Super Strat? Any suggestions?
I owned a Sir Classic HSS many years ago when I lived in LA. And it was a really well-made guitar. I didn't really gel with the pickups or the thinness of the neck. And I ended up getting rid of it. But, you know, they've changed since then. This would have been around 2008 or something that I had this. But they're really well-built guitars. Let's see, premium Strats. I can go on and on about premium Strats. Fender Custom Shop makes really good Strats. Super Strat wise, I mean, Tyler's kind of going to be the ultimate, but Sir makes good ones, yeah, for sure. LSL, trying to think of some other great kind of modern Strat builders. Exotic makes really cool stuff.
I didn't get your photos yet, Boomster. Might be held up. We shall see. I'll check again in a few minutes. Yeah, 100 is tough to keep up with, Pimp Daddy. Terry Himes says, my last trip to Nashville was in 1978.
Oh, it's changed a lot.
Yeah, it's changed.
1978, I'm sure downtown Nashville was probably mostly peep shows and strip clubs or something.
Jeff Nixon says Tom Anderson makes a great modern S style. I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I think all of those guys, Sir, Anderson, Tyler, Schechter, they all came from that same Fender late 70s, 80s type of, you know, era, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Got that. Rob Baker was asking about if you still have the Vola you demoed. That'd be about the same as the Acacia.
Well, I kept one Vola, which was the white HSS. I think I have the reverse headstock. I still have that. I think I have to get it set up though. And I think I put the Vega trim on that one.
There's Thomas Santiago. Awesome. Some great questions tonight. How is that Vega trim working?
It's great. I think it's the next best thing to having a real Floyd Rose. And they're easy to install and set up. So
I agree on that. Pimp Tay says, yeah, hard to keep up with 100 watt, but I'll take 20 watts for recording any day. Sure.
Oh, yeah. Really, the 100 watts more for the headroom, clean headroom.
Have you ever had an Evertune guitar?
Never. I was thinking about getting one years ago for touring, but I never bought one. I think I was looking at like an ESP or something. LTD.
Built FDS. I've never owned a Super Strat. What does it bring to the table, either live or recording?
Well, Super Strat, as a general term, it could mean a lot of things, but generally speaking, we think of at least an HSS, sometimes a Floyd, sometimes an HSH configuration, humbucker, single humbucker. But obviously, you're going to get, you know, the humbucker in the bridge, which is going to give you a nice crunchy sounds. And the variation, I feel like a lot of players stick with the bridge position or like a neck position. So having like the neck pickup of a Strat and like a humbucker, which kind of gets you close to a Les Paul territory, although it doesn't necessarily sound exactly like a Les Paul.
Mhm.
But that was kind of the idea back in the day when they were putting in humbuckers into Strats. So
It's a lot easier to put a humbucker into a Strat than a trem bar into a Les Paul.
yeah.
Because you can't dive bomb a Bigsby. Well, you can once. Exactly, Boomster. Super Strat's just an SG with a Stratus shape and a new fangled whammy. Sure. What's up, Dwight Bailey? Surfbee says, I think PRS is the godfather of all boutique guitar makers. He came up with original design that has evolved into an iconic style. I would say at least probably the latest in many ways. That's grown to be an iconic style.
Yeah. I think, back then it was so hard to compete with Fender and Gibson. So for him to be able to design something that today is now its own thing, for the most
part. At the time, too, when a lot of people were still playing Super Strats and stuff like that, like Fender and Gibson weren't huge. Like they were big in the middle-aged people market type thing, it seemed, late 80s into the 90s, but yet he brought out this guitar that was, well, on par, if not better, in many ways, as far as build quality at that time, and people dug them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And when he first came out, they were expensive.
Yep.
And they're still, I mean, now they have other budgetary lines, but it's always been a premium brand.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, it was like first person I saw with one was Santana, and the next was the guys from Collective Soul.
Oh, yeah.
There's Bent Tom.
There he is.
He says, nothing says doctor, lawyer, dentist, orthodontist like a PRS.
I was thinking about that the other day. I've never met a lawyer or a doctor that's owned a PRS, but then again, I don't really know lawyers or doctors that play guitar personally. All my friends are musicians. We didn't go to med school.
No. Presley, California says, always late when the cool guests were on, but you made it.
I thought, Ben Tom, you had a PRS. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
That's good. I know he has a Sir. He was showing it off the other day because he refinned a Sir.
Nice.
Because he is a wild man.
Oh, he's got a Nags. That's right. Close enough.
The Steve Stevens Nags. That's right.
Yeah.
Serby asked, did RJ go to school for music?
I sure did. I went to school with Ben Tom, University of Miami, Coral Gables, Florida.
I agree.
Tom, you gotta send me that.
Stevens is underrated.
Tom was talking about the one photo he has of me on the first day he met me, and I don't know if you sent that to me yet. Find it, Ben Tom, and send it to me.
The infamous blue windbreaker.
Blue windbreaker. I'm sure it was a Patagonia blue windbreaker that I got. Which I need to get something because I don't have like a raincoat or a rain jacket or something, and that's something I used to always have.
Serby says, at least you're not a Berkeley guy.
I don't think there was. I think there was, like in the 90s, maybe some animosity between music school, a little rivalry between music schools.
Lawrence. Lawrence is back. And Aaron from Elvis Band. Or Lawrence is probably actually saying hey to Bet Tom. Because that happened the other day in the chat too. People often tag me when they go to tag Tom. Yeah, it's good to see Aaron made it. Craig T. Tomlinson. Yeah. Tyler from Music of Wind can really play. He's Berkeley. There we are.
Steve from Boston is an old school Berkeley guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lawrence Petros is a GIT guy.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to go to GIT when I was like 13. I think I got like the pack. They send you a VHS. That's kind of like their, you know, shows you everything that you do it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Guitar Man 45 did the Wayne State University music program.
There you go. I know some friends that went to Wayne State for music.
Philip Aspie says, I'm going to go silent as I'm a lawyer, but wished I was a guitar player as a profession, and I own a PRS. So,
well, nice to meet you, Philip. Now I know one lawyer that owns a PRS. I know they exist.
Wait, that means we actually have two lawyers in the chat because Rob Baker in here is also a lawyer. So,
nice.
Wow. Don't we just feel better? And there's the birthday boy, Ryan Hall, in the chat, 56 years young.
There you are.
We were talking about you earlier, my friend. Happy birthday. Keith Campbell says, I want the Larry Mitchell Nags. Yes, that's a very nice Nags.
I was looking at getting that one Steve Stevens double cut with the Floyd, like the purple pickups.
It's a great line. Bozique says, I'm a paralegal, so one of my guitars is a PRS SE. Perfect.
Right on brand.
Okay, Rob Baker says no PRS for him. No, but I believe I do recall him taking a trip down to Nashville to buy a really nice Gibson. I'm just saying. So,
I think Gibson Custom Shop is the new lawyer guitar.
Yeah, it's the new 10 top.
The Murphy Lab is the new lawyer guitar.
There's Matthew McCosker in the chat. Doug Strong says, I'm the furthest thing from a doctor or a lawyer. Yeah, and he has the limited run core PRS. Yeah, you scrimped and saved and traded, and we've heard that journey. That was a journey for him to get to that guitar. It's a nice guitar. Robert Purdy says the PRS SC baritone will be my first PRS. Right. I get it, because he said in a lefty, no less. Like, if you can find a lefty baritone announced, go for it.
Yeah, it's got to be hard to find left-handed guitars.
Graphite and Scar says, I'm a beauty school dropout. Should I get a 335? Even if you're a graduate,
yes.
Still 335. Everybody should have a 335. Or some form of semi-hollow body.
I haven't found the perfect 335 yet. Got the Rock and Roll Relics Lightning, but I haven't found like the vintage style one that I like.
You'll find it. It'll probably happen during a Carter's demo, and you're going to go, damn it. This is a nice one.
You know what? Yeah, you're probably right.
Nice thing about Carter's, though, is, man, they have the really nice, and then it's like, dude gigged with this for 15 years. Perfect. Yes. And still plays great. Might not look like $1 million, but it plays amazing. Collins does make a 335 of some kind, Michael Krause.
Yes. They make a good one. Josh Williams. I know like Corey's got one. Jack Roosh used to have one. He's one of those boutique 335 style builders that are really nice.
Lawrence asks, what do we think of 355s?
I like them. I like 345s and 355s.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little 355 is a little too bougie for me.
It's up there. Yeah, that's true. Keith Campbell says, I need a 3/4 size 335. Well, that would be a 339.
That's right.
Not to sound too bad, but I remember first time buddy showed up with one, I said, did they come in a men's?
Yeah, it's an awkward looking shape, body size, body shape.
Yeah,
You're so
it's a
used to
little
it.
bigger than a Les Paul, but it kind of looks. And at first, I was like, "Is that a baritone 335 far away?" Nope, it's just a 339 up close. Hey, there's Rob 212. Good to see you. Pimp Daddy says, "Amen on 335 Sheridan 2 on the money." Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see here. Bozique says he's disappointed in the Silver Sky SC color selections. Sure, I get that.
I haven't demoed any of those Silver Skies.
I picked one up once just to put my hand. I'm like, yep, feels like a Strat down there. I get it. Jason asked, RJ, what was that slick guitar you demoed, the blue one with the semi-hollow body?
Where is it?
Jason Lindholm.
Oh, this one. I forget the name of the model.
Ooh. I missed that demo.
It's really not hollow. I mean, it's like there's wood there. It's not super well. It's not bad. It's pretty much a solid body with these cut out.
Right.
But it's all solid, right? Down here. Not in tune. Cool looking guitar.
Mm-hmm. Nice. We'll go a little bit longer here, folks, and I'm going to wrap things up. Presley says, I meet with guitar lawyers all the time. Well, go figure. You build custom guitars in California. I think lawyers should be a good selection of your marketplace. It was like the joke where I was laughing about locally here, RJ. There's a guy who buys tons of custom shop Gibsons locally. Like anything that comes into the store, he buys them all. And so he buys them just to play them once to say he's played them because it's a rare guitar and he can afford to do it, and then puts it up on local online for sale. And the funniest is locally, there's a Mike Ness signature custom shop gold top for 15,000 Canadian. The ironic thing is nobody who knows who Mike Ness is can afford $15,000 for that guitar.
You're right. That's a rare thing.
Yeah.
Someone that was a big Social Distortion fan, like in the 90s.
Yeah.
Went to law school and
yeah, sold a soul at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just thought that's the ultimate irony. And I'm like, let alone in this area. Good luck. I'm like, you are the market for that in this area. That's true, Aaron. Social Distortion has some solid songs. I do agree.
Dan Crow's asking if I'm going to do another gear dump on my Reverb store. Yeah, I think I'll have a couple guitars actually I'm selling. Not so much
Cool.
pedals, but guitars for sure. I need to thin out the herd.
Philip Aspie says, "Damn you guys, I know who Mike Ness is, and as a lawyer, I can put you in touch with Buddy if you want the guitar, because you would be." He's looking to sell it to you, obviously. Yeah, similar with the Joe Stromer Tele. Yeah, especially the high end one. I get it. Maybe Philip's the cool lawyer. You show up, he's wearing a Clash sleeveless T-shirt, you know, and you're like, "This is a guy who could represent me."
When I first moved to Los Angeles, I got a recommendation for an accountant to do my taxes, who was the original drummer from the Circle Jerks. And I think his name is Keith Clark. So I remember going into his office and he had all this like Circle Jerks memorabilia on his wall, but he was older and like normal and stuff. But it's cool to see all that stuff behind him.
No doubt. Hey, Ryan. Oh, you 812 in the chat. I see popping in here. Richard Nagamitsu made it to Merida, Mexico. Arrived 24 hours after leaving Charlotte. I was wondering, he said in Pete Thorne's chat earlier, howdy from Mexico. And I'm like, you were on the Zoom call with us yesterday in Charlotte. What the hell? Like, when did that take place? And did not mention that he was leaving for a vacation. Thought that might have come up. But no.
My sister, okay, I got to tell you this story because you know my sister on the chat, but they were supposed to go to Mexico last week for, I guess, winter break or whatever. And I think, they might have been Merida or Cancun in that area. And they were going to drive to Montreal and fly out of Montreal direct to Mexico. But my sister, I guess her passport expired within 2 months or something, and I guess there's a rule that Canada has that your passport can't expire within 6 months. So there's a 6-month rule that Canada has that the US doesn't have, or maybe it only applies to like foreigners, like US people going into Canada, but they couldn't fly out.
Weird.
They didn't make it to Mexico. So I don't know if you knew about that rule, but don't let your passport expire. That's the moral of the story.
Yes. For Burful comment. Okay, Rick did mention it. I think you were changing. Well, yeah, I was doing laundry during the Zoom call. That's true. That's fair. That is fair. Or it was about the time my trade was showing. Oh, yeah, that's true too. Yeah, because we were hanging out after we got a foot of snow, hanging out the Zoom call, and then made the trade, and then realized I had to go out and shovel the walk. So he could come over with the gear, so I had to leave the guys. Because that was professional time management. Yep. Let's see here. Okay, Aaron had a question. He says, we got to find a way to get one of the new Park amps in your possession. I've heard good things about the newer high watts, so I'm optimistic.
Yeah, I would try one out.
You have been lucky, Bozique. No snow. That was literally, okay, I'm going to be there in 20 minutes. Oh, man, I got to go shovel a bunch of snow. Great.
You need to get a snowblower.
I have one. I haven't fired it up because I gave the neighbor a 24-pack of beer, and he's been plowing my driveway all winter.
Oh, okay.
Which I figure more than fair trade.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Actually, the guitarist from Blind Melon went to UPenn Law, so he's Ivy League and all. Wow, Rob Baker. Did not know that. I saw Blind Melon in concert back in the day.
Wow. Where'd you see that?
Maple Leaf Gardens, opening for Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Well, I should mention Aaron's like 24 only. You win on that deal. Well, yeah, but a case of 24 costs $50 here. So,
What kind of beer though?
Bud Light, ironically enough. So, yeah, give me a case of Bud Light. Done. All Day All Night says I saw that show in New Orleans. Nice. I remember Lenny Kravitz. I really don't remember Blind Melon too much. We stayed at the hotel right next door to the arena. So we're staggering distance to get to the venue. That much I remember. And then at the end of the concert, I spent like $20 on Taco Bell, and that was in 1993. So I bought a lot of Taco Bell.
93. I think I saw Lenny in 93 or 94. No, this is probably 93. I think, and Raging Slab opened up.
Wow.
Raging Slab. We didn't have Blind Melon. We had Raging Slab.
I remember him not doing Are You Going My Way? And I was like, what's going on? How do you not do that song? It's kind of a big deal. And then that was the encore.
Of course.
Well, that makes sense. And Duff McKagan came out on stage and played a couple songs.
Wow. What was
he was in town promoting, I think, his first solo album or something.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Carlton Inn. Exactly, Paul Morgan. That's what it was, the Carlton Inn. And hello to Paul Morgan. I'm assuming a fellow Canuck with that piece of trivia. And Aaron and Josh proving that they're younger.
Is Maple Leaf Garden, that's in Toronto?
Yes. Is
it still called that, or is that the...
It's still, yes, but it's now... Part of it's owned by Ryerson, which is a college in town. So there's still a hockey rink, but they decrease the seating, and there's a grocery store on the ground floor.
What's the big arena in Toronto?
Now it was the Air Canada Centre. Now it's the Scotiabank Place, which is right next to the train station. So really handy for going into the city for concerts. You just take like a commuter train in, right next door.
Yeah.
I think we've covered just about everything here for this night anyways. We'll definitely have to do this again because, might as well.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow you got Michael Nielsen, right?
Michael Nielsen, yes. And then 1 week from tonight, Rob Cunningham from Daddario on.
Nice.
Which is always fun. Get to find out any new products coming out. And how big is the Rogers Center? I think around 50,000 for baseball, 65 or so for concerts, I want to say. I think. Yeah. So thanks everybody that tuned in tonight. It's been awesome. Good crowd here. Hit the like if you haven't already. Please subscribe if you're new. And check out RJ's channel. Terry's been putting links in the chat in case you live under a rock and aren't familiar. He's live every Saturday morning with Coffee Time with RJ. It's great times. Gear demos almost daily. The man's a machine.
Almost. I did something today, didn't I? An ion pedal, yes.
There we go. I do not know, Keith, about Nas Canucks on Tuesday. I'll have to check with Doug on that. And, hang on. Tom is texting. He says, ask RJ who this is. All right.
That's Chris. Wow, that's our buddy Chris and where's
there we go.
Taken? That's not me though. I'm asking for my picture.
Yeah, we're still waiting for RJ's photo, Tom. Just saying. So that's Chris. That's RJ. I'm Ben. Y'all been y'all. And this has been the Sunday Night Hang presented by, the the internet and myself because I hit the on button. So be good to each other. Be well. Hold those doors open. Let Bent Tom in ahead of you in traffic because he's trying to find a picture for RJ, and I don't know why he has to drive to do it. I don't understand that, but that's Tom. That's not us. Be good to each other. Be well. Happy tone chasing. And, of course, don't litter.
Why do you scream at me? Why do you think that it's free? It's not a choice made by me. Won't move